Alrighty. Sorry about that, guys. Was having a little bit of technical difficulties. Facebook has changed some things since I've been, going live regularly and stuff. So I was trying to set it up to go automatically, but it was just not working. So hello, hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let's see here. Um, Yay! So I'm super excited to come on and create this masterclass for you guys that could possibly be going through some life-changing transition in your life. And this can come in so many different shapes and sizes, right? It can come through as, an ending of a marriage or relationship, having a child. Um, it can come through with starting a new relationship, getting into a marriage, getting engaged, or even buying a house or moving jobs, or perhaps going through some type of spiritual transition. There's a lot changing within you. And this can create a lot of, when we're going through change, it can create a lot of chaos within us. And so that's why I wanted to come on and just share with you guys that yes, I'm pregnant, and it has been a life altering experience, as you mothers and fathers out there know. It completely starstruck me. So just to share a little bit about my current story is that, you know, I had all these plans, right? I had all these plans about how my life was supposed to go, and this is what it was going to look like. And I had these plans to have children later on in life and to just focus on career and traveling, and so my current partner is incredible, and I'm so grateful for him. I honestly, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. He's a wonderful person, and I'm super grateful for that, because I know that there's a lot of women that end up having children with men that aren't wonderful. And so I am truly grateful for that. And that's honestly, some of what I took into consideration when I came back from California vacation with my partner, and the day after we got back, I could not get out of bed. And I was like, oh, it's probably just from traveling, and took 2 pregnancy tests and they were both negative, right? And so I was like, oh yeah, no, it's just from traveling. It's fine. Next day, same thing. Super nauseous, super tired. Didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. Maybe something I ate or something like that, right? And then finally by Thursday, I was like, okay, this is just crazy. I cannot get out of bed. I'm super nauseous. I don't want anything to do with caffeine. Was a weird thing. I was like, wow, this is interesting. And so I ended up going to urgent care. And then boom, June 4th, that's when I found out that there's a 6-week-old baby inside of me. And I was like, wow, okay, all the feelings of fear and uncertainty. Am I capable of this? Am I ready for this? Can I handle this? And I realized how much negative beliefs I had around having children. A lot of people told me, like, wait as long as you can to have children, because once you do, all this negativity around children, as if they take away from your life. And this is what, some adults that I've crossed paths with have said to me. And so I had no idea, right? After this, it was really about sitting with myself. It was like one of those life altering moments where, I'm just looking at the universe like, wow, I had a vision. I had a vision, and it looked a certain way, and I had somewhat of a plan, right? And the biggest fear was like, am I really ready for this? Can I really handle this level of responsibility in my life when I'm creating my business? And We're getting this retreat center that we're building here in Washington set up. Is this something I can really do? And I honestly did really think about a lot of the mothers out there that have 2, 3, 4 children, and they do it all by themselves, and they run incredible businesses. And so, in sharing this, that, no matter what you are, what you're going through in your life as far as transitions go, just what really helped me in the beginning is just taking time to sit with it all, not trying to distract myself. That's why, I was not online for about a month, because I needed to process this. Like, this is, not something that I had planned, but the universe had planned for me. And I truly believe in that. I believe in a higher power, a higher intelligence, divine intelligence that is here running the show. And we are here to let it flow through us and participate and co-create in the process. And so just allowing yourself to sit with what you're going through as far as transition goes, if someone has passed away, it's really easy to just get back into what you were doing before, or maybe it's not, right? But you feel like you have to. And so the most important thing that you can do is to just allow yourself to be in the process. And that's what I really experienced. A couple months prior to this, I was practicing the art of surrender. And I was studying the art of surrender and just practicing to let life flow through me and to not try and control the process. And so when it came down to, making a decision, am I going to continue this pregnancy? I was like, I have to continue it, because where I'm at right now in my journey is, although it's a choice, but I feel deep down like, no, this is right, because I'm not in my spiritual journey to go and take control at this point in my life. It's about surrendering. And I was remembering or practicing walking the walk of wisdom, of trusting in the process. And so it felt like trying to control the process was not, it was not for me. And I'm not saying that, for those people out there that get abortions, that's not right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for me personally, that taking control of the process was not for me. It was not for my highest good. Me not continuing with the pregnancy is not trusting in the process. It's not surrendering to the divine intelligence that creates life, that created you, that created me, and created this beautiful world that we live in. So that's important to remember as far as what you're going through in your life. Is it's maybe annoying to hear if you've been on the journey for a while, but the trusting in the process, it's wisdom that will never get old. It's ancient, but it will never get old, because it truly does help us this is where spirituality is so important, I truly believe, is trusting in something that you maybe can't see, something that you can't understand up here. It doesn't make sense. And so if you're struggling in your life and you're going through transition with your health, you're going through transition in your life in some way, spiritually in some way, if you need to tattoo it on your forehead, you need to write it next to your bed. I mean, I journal every day, but I mean, the things that, I woke up with, tons of anxiety. I had no idea, what to expect. All this is just so new to me. And I'm like, oh man, can I even support myself, let alone another child, right? All of this weakness that I had inside of me that I didn't even realize. And so I feel like, one of Wayne Dyer's quotes is, when life squeezes you, what comes out? And what transition does is it squeezes us, because we're such creatures of habit. And, we get attached to things like having a plan and having a vision of how your life's supposed to go. But when life squeezes you, when you go through these transitions, what comes up for you? And this is important to journal every day your process of how you're feeling. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be a freaking gratitude journal, okay, when you're going through this transition. It's really just about being authentic to you. No one needs to see this journal. This is just about you. If you need to write down, I'm full of fear right now. I don't know what to expect. I didn't see this end in my marriage. I didn't see the signs, or maybe, I just wasn't paying attention. Whatever it is that you're going through, it's just so important to document and to write down your feelings and spend time alone. Spend time alone. Growing up in the city, I did spend a lot of time in nature growing up and playing outside. But over the years, kind of getting away from that, of the importance of nature. And this is maybe something that you hear of often, but again, these are just reminders. I'm not telling you guys any new information. I'm just sharing with you, these things that I may have knew up here, but I literally, in order for me to feel okay, I had to put these things into practice every single day. Every single day, telling myself maybe 100 times, trust in the process. You can do this. The universe never gives you what you are not capable of handling. That was a huge, huge, huge reoccurring wisdom that I had to keep telling myself. And this is what I truly believe, that the universe does not give you what you're not capable of handling. There is always growth and lessons for us to grow from in every situation that we go through in our life. So it's important to go into it with this mindset that, of course, that life is not happening to you, that life is happening for you. And so grounding. When you're going through transition, you can think of your roots in whatever aspect of your life are being lifted up. And you're just flying through the air. You're going wherever the universe flows you to. And, while you're there, you're doing your best to keep your mind sane. All right. I'm not seeing any comments from you guys, so I just want to make sure, in case any of you have commented. Just want to make sure. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. So if any of you guys have any questions or comments about going through transition, I would be happy to give you some insights. But anyways, getting grounded. Okay, so this is so important. If your feet are not touching that grass daily, or your ears are not hearing those birds chirping daily, or, as much as possible, there's something to this. There's something to learning from nature, remembering nature. We are nature. And so the camping trip that I went on, and, I have 5 acres of property. So it's, me going outside and walking around, but you can do this anywhere, right? It doesn't mean you have to have 5 acres of property, but spending time out in nature, you can definitely make this happen. And I can't tell you how important it is, because you'll begin to see and be aware of your mind, and just your mind going and going and going. And your mind is always going to go. It's always going to have something to say. And it could be negative, but that isn't you. Who is the one that is aware that you are thinking? Who is the one that can hear the thoughts? Who is that? That's you, the awareness, the observer, the consciousness that is conscious of these thoughts, but the thoughts are not you. Same thing with the feelings. This is what I believe nature is so good for, because you will get to really reset your nervous system. And it might be uncomfortable, if it's like picking up the phones or the talking to people or being on the internet in whatever way. It's just so important for us to have that reset. And going through change and transition, perhaps we were, missing some of the signs that our soul was giving us throughout the way, that, our highest path is here, and maybe we were traveling off here. And so we never really can know until we just start trusting the process, why things happen the way that they do. And we might not ever really know as fact, but we might know it in here. We might know it within our heart. In fact, you will know it within your heart. It might not make sense to your mind, but you'll feel it in your heart. And so making sure that you're getting out and grounding and being in nature will help you so much. And again, if this is something that you've heard of and it's like, and you're not practicing it, please practice it, because I cannot tell you how this helped me so much and is continuing to help me to hear those sounds and the simplicity of it, to feel my feet on the grass and to walk around and just be dirty, or pulling weeds out of my garden. It's just doing those simple, practical things to get you out of your mind. That's so, so, so important. So important, because then you'll realize that they're just thoughts. They're just thoughts. Okay, so filling up your cup. Filling up your cup is another super, super, super important aspect to going through life-changing transition, is especially if you have had a tendency to care about others more than you care about yourself, or show others more love than you show yourself love, then this is not the time for that. That habit needs to go. This is about you filling yourself up so that you can overflow and give to others. You're not going to stop giving to others, but to give to yourself and fill up your own cup. Writing yourself love notes, taking yourself on a walk, or folding your laundry all beautifully, washing, making yourself a really great dinner, taking yourself out to eat, and taking yourself out for a hike, enjoying your company. This is so, so important, because although, one of the other aspects here that I wanted to share is having support, maybe that's not available to you. Maybe this is, you're at a point in your journey that this is something that you're just walking alone right now. As far as having a lot of physical people around you. And that's okay, because we all go through some level of that on our journey of it's isolation for you to turn inward, and it's all purposeful. And that's important to remember, because the worst thought, like when I was, going through this with the pregnancy, is I couldn't understand the reason why this was happening. I couldn't see the purpose, the higher purpose. My life has been dedicated to living a higher purpose, right? I've dedicated my life to this. I'm like, I don't see how this is me living the higher purpose, right? But this is where trust, surrender, and have faith come through. You need to write those 3 words down: trust, surrender, and have faith. Write down what they mean to you, because these 3 words, they represent the spiritual path. And it's in those times, those dark, dark moments where you feel so lost, so confused, that we turn to these 3 words. And these 3 words, when you say yes to them and you choose them, you will be at peace. Trust, surrender, and have faith. Those are the 3 most prominent words, essences of spirituality, right? Why do people turn to spirituality? Maybe everything else failed them. All the textbooks, perhaps the Bibles, people, they start turning inward. And this is where life is guiding us. And so life is going to squeeze us until all that comes out is just love. Trust, surrender, faith, joy. When you squeeze an orange, you don't get lemon juice, you get orange juice. And so when life squeezes you, what comes out? And so the support that you have around you. If you don't have much support around you, you can post in this group that, hey, I'm going through a really hard time. I'd really love some love or someone to talk to. There's tons of resources out there for you to get support. Having mentors, having people that you can talk to is super, super crucial in your journey. If you're going through an isolation process of turning inward, a hermit type of process right now, that time is important, and listen to your intuition, but also, don't move so far. And, if you're like, nobody cares about me, so I'm going to isolate myself, that is far from the truth. You are fully supported, and there is so much love for you and support for you. It's just opening yourself up. Do not let yourself close while going through life-changing transition. As much as your heart might be breaking, as much as your mind might be going 100 miles per hour, do not let your heart close. Do not let your heart close. The pain that brings you from closing your heart is worse than leaving it open. Keep your heart open. Keep your heart open. And, something I've been learning, practicing, realizing, if you will, with saying yes to this pregnancy out of complete trust, surrender, and faith in the process, that I do have everything I need, and it's going to be exactly perfect, and maybe what I didn't even realize I needed, right? But there's something about the universe giving to the courageous. Those that walk the path of courage. There are so many blessings and rewards for that person that walks the path of courage compared to the one walking the path of comfort zone. When you're walking the path of courage, and that's when you're going through life-changing transition and you're just allowing yourself to stay open and just continue moving along like we always do, but still to really just be conscious of the process as much as possible and not avoid the pain that could be coming up. There's much reward for that as far as who you become in the process. And that's a huge gift. Who you become in the process of stepping into your courageous warrior that we all have within us. And so some of the last few things I want to share with you guys is the mental constructs that we make. So for me, I was like, when I'm more financially stable and professionally, further along, then I'm ready to have a kid. Okay? So I had this funny thought come through when I was driving. It's always when I'm driving, right? And it was, Vanessa, do you think God, when he created you, when he created you or anyone else, do you think God said, I need to be more financially independent, professionally, set before I create life? I was like, damn, no. I don't think God would say that. I don't think God would say, I need to have more money before I make all this life, all these children. No. And so that was just an eye-opening realization to me that these mental constructs that we make. And so be aware of the mental constructs that you have around whatever it is that you're going through, or the person that's involved, or yourself, or the way life is supposed to go. When you're going through transition, it's a cracking open process. And so being aware of what's coming up for you and being curious will serve you greatly. Be curious. Be curious about what you're thinking, what you're believing, and why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. This can help create some distance between what you're feeling and being aware of what you're feeling. So you're not totally enthralled in the feeling if it's not feeling that good, right? And there's a whole bunch of thoughts coming through. It'll give you some space to look at it objectively when you come with it, some curiosity. And everything always works out. Everything always works out. And attachment and clinging, again, creates suffering. Me attaching to the way my life was supposed to go and attaching to this powerlessness. It's like, was getting some type of satisfaction from this powerlessness that I had, and it was time to let it go. It's time to let go of this powerlessness. No one's going to save me. And the last thing I want to share with you is it all comes down to choice. It all comes down to choice. Choosing to be happy. Choosing to put healthy things in your body. Choosing to give up. And so if it's a choice, if you have a choice right here, right now, of how you can feel and who you can be, what are you choosing? And today, I'm making a vow to unconditional happiness. Not happiness just because this is working out, that's working out, but then I'm unhappy when this happens and that happens. But choosing unconditional happiness. Because that's a choice. And so if you guys have any questions about this at all, you are looking for some support on your journey through transition, then you can place in the comments. You can reach out to me personally. We can have a conversation. I'm here for you. And no matter what, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. It always works out. Just get out of the story. Get out of the story that you're creating about what things mean, especially if it doesn't feel good. And this can help open up new ideas for you, new creative energy. But just make sure you're taking care of yourself. I love you guys so much. Thank you for those of you that tuned in and for those of you that will be watching the replay. Super excited to just get back into sharing. I'm continuing to learn just so much. And it's just mind-blowing. Life is honestly just mind-blowing. Like, I knew that our bodies as women created life, but I didn't know that our bodies created life. It's such a different experience when you experience it. That you literally just you're a portal for this other being to come in to Earth. They're going to have their own ideas, thoughts, beliefs, and purpose. Wow. Miracles happening everywhere. Miracles happening everywhere. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. I'd love to know what your takeaways are from this, and I'll talk to you soon. Namaste.